Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. Some 75,000 runners from 370 cities worldwide took part in the Wolf Trail Run. This annual event pays homage to the cursed soldiers who, in the 1940s and 1950s, resisted the communist regime after Poland was sold out to the Soviet Union by the great powers. Among the runners was Polish President Andrzej Duda.
The race was inaugurated by President Andrzej Duda. He reminded everyone that the National Day of Remembrance for the Cursed Soldiers was established on the initiative of President Lech Kaczyński.
Wraz z państwem
Together with you, I can say that traditionally on the 1st of March each year we celebrate the National Remembrance Day of the Cursed Soldiers. Let me remind you that it was the legislative initiative of President Lech Kaczyński, who believed that the memory of the Cursed Soldiers should be raised to the rank of national memory.
Że była to inicjatywa ustawodawcza pana prezydenta profesora Lecha Kaczyńskiego.
For 8 years as a foundation and earlier a social committee, we thank you for freedom. We have tried and continue to remind the inhabitants of Minsk Mazowiecki and the Powiat about our heroes, the Cursed Soldiers.
The participants in the race covered 1,963 meters in reference to the year of the death of the last cursed soldier, Józef Frańczak, codenamed Lalek.
This year marks the last year of the fight against the communist regime of the Cursed Soldiers.
For many participants of the Wolf Trail Run, cursed soldiers such as Captain Witold Pilecki are a role model.
It is simply sensational that we have a Pole, a hero who sacrificed his own life first in the fight against the Nazis and then the totalitarian system of the USSR and gave his life for Poland.
The president ran very quickly. Everyone tried to run next to him. The Minister of Digital Affairs, Marek Zagórski, also took part in the run.
This is important because it is a symbolic restoration of the memory of those who were to be erased from history.
Soldiers of the Territorial Defense Army also paid homage to the heroes of the anti-communist uprising.
The 1st March is a unique date for each soldier of the Territorial Defense Forces. On this day we remember our heroes as if they were founding fathers, prototypes of the characters that formed the foundation of our formation.
69 years ago, on March 1st, 1951, in the prison at Derakowiecka Street in Warsaw, after a show trial, 7 officers who were members of the 4th Main Board of the Freedom and Independence Association were shot. The National Remembrance Day of Cursed Soldiers refers to this date. The Wolf Trail Run took place today in 365 places in Poland and worldwide.
Following World War II, some 200,000 people objected to Soviet oppression and approximately 20,000 of them joined armed units. Communists fought them ruthlessly and captured fighters were tortured, killed and often denied a proper burial. The Polish state continues to search for the remains of several key figures in this movement. To contemporary Poles, these silent heroes are an example of devotion to the country. Remembering them is an honourable duty.
Historia miała o nich głucho milczeć na zawsze, tego chcieli komuniści.
History was to never tell their story because that's what the communists wanted. They wanted to get rid of the memory of them and that is why they were buried in unmarked graves. The communists often dressed them up in Nazi Germany uniforms in order to humiliate them and cover their tracks so that if someone were to find them they would not be treated as heroes. But history stopped being silent. It has loudly spoken through the mouths of our patriots, especially the young. I want to thank all the people who always remembered about the cursed soldiers even during the times when we were not allowed to remember and speak about them. They always had them in their minds. And when Poland was liberated, they demanded they be commemorated and their graves be found. Thanks to them, Professor Frederic, together with his co-workers, could take action to find their graves and exhume their bodies. Today, thanks to these people, we can pay tribute to the heroic soldiers of the Republic of Poland, who never laid down their weapons and sacrificed their lives, just as the soldiers' oath provides.
Pamiętali o żołnierzach niezłomnych.
Communists consolidated their power by eliminating those who stood up against them. The cursed soldiers who survived brutal interrogation left accounts of Soviet cruelty. One such place is a prison at Rakowiecka Street in Warsaw, which is now a museum. Here, communists murdered Witold Pilecki, the Polish officer who voluntarily broke into Auschwitz and wrote the famous Pilecki Report. General Emil Feldorf, commander of Home Army units, is another example of a famous fighter against the Nazis murdered by the communist regime in 1953.
I salute you, officers. We salute you, Prime Minister.
drodzy kombatanci.
Dear veterans, our witnesses of history, our great heroes, we thank you for your great sacrifice. Following the example of those who lost their lives back then in the name of a great Poland, we promise you to fight for our country's better existence, for its strength. The strength which will ensure its sovereignty for the next years and decades. Thanks to you and your resilience, we are lucky today to be able to take care of our homeland. We promise you we will fulfill our duty in the coming years. We all owe it to the indomitable soldiers to preserve their memory. Glory to them. Poland is not yet lost.
Wszystkim niezłomnym żołnierzom wdzięczni jesteśmy pamięć. Cześć ich pamięci. Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła.
Soldiers from Allied armies stationed in Poland as part of the NATO contingent took part in the commemoration of the cursed soldiers. They visited the Warsaw Uprising Museum, met veterans and took part in the Wolf Trail Run. A tour of Poland also took place thanks to the Polish National Foundation.
Americans, British, Croats and Romanians came from the Warman Masurian Voivodeship, where they are stationed in Orange as part of the enhanced forward presence. Normally, they improve their military skills and practice cooperation within international forces. The Polish National Foundation wants them to use their time in Poland to learn about the history of the country and the values of guide poles.
So this brings a lot of value to us because we can actually learn about the Polish people. We can learn about the heritage, how come they have so much respect, how much they have integrity, the honor that they have for their nation. Helps us understand what they are here for.
Soldiers who are stationed in Poland tell their families about the country.
They ask me if it's cold, if it's snowing, the typical, what do we eat, what are the people like, are they nice? Probably the number one question I get is, how cold is it? Everyone thinks it's freezing. It hasn't been that bad. I find the people amazing. Most people I've come in contact with have been very polite, very nice. I've tried to learn Polish, and so they've actually helped me learn words. They laugh with me. Help me understand that I'm saying it wrong.
The Ordinary People Party has won a resounding victory in Slovakia's parliamentary elections. This is a centre-right party focused on fighting corruption. The election campaign was dominated by public anger over the 2018 murder of investigative journalist Jan Kuciak and his fiancée, Martina Kusnerova. The result has unseated the centre-left SMR-SD party, which had dominated Slovak politics.
Behind the victory of the new party is 46-year-old businessman Igor Matovic. He poses as a simple man of the people. His party slogan was "Let's beat the mafia together." After exit polls, Matovic said that the people who voted for his party were people who did not trust the state and saw corruption as the most important issue in the country.
210 years ago, on March 1st, 1810, Frederic Chopin was born in Żelazowa Wola near Warsaw. We all know Chopin's masterpieces. With his mazurkas and polonaise, Chopin has been credited with introducing to music a new sense of nationalism. Schumann, in his 1836 review of the piano concertos, wrote, "If the mighty autocrat in the north could know that in Chopin's works, in the simple strains of his mazurkas, there lurks a dangerous enemy, he would place a ban on his music. Chopin's works are cannons buried in flowers." That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.